if I'm going to go on an appointment, I'm going to market that appointment. I'm going to sell that appointment as hard as I sell a listing. I got a message on Instagram from my buddy Steve, who sent me a check for $19,000, picture of it. He said, all it said was thanks. There's a picture of a $19,000 check. And it was off of a strategy that I refer to as the appointment sales letter. Let's say I booked an appointment with Sharon to potentially discuss listing his house. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a list of the 100 closest homes that have owned the house maybe for 7+ years, have a lot of equity. And then I'm going to get that list and I'm going to send them a letter in the mail. Hey, Sharon, this is Jimmy Mackin calling Mackin, or reaching out from Mackin Realty. I'm going to be in the area next Tuesday at 1 p.m. because I'm discussing, or I'm meeting with your neighbor to discuss the idea of selling their property. I'm going to be reaching out to everybody because I'm in the area. I'm going to reach everybody and offer an updated home value report, because when this house sells, it's going to impact your home's value. If you'd like to get your copy, reply to, text me. Here's my phone number. This concept of the of market the appointment, you can do it through a direct mail campaign. You can do it through a phone calling script. You can do it through an email campaign. You can go on Instagram, like our buddy Chris Benahim. There's a million different ways you can promote this idea. But the big takeaway here is you need to promote your appointments as aggressively as you promote your listing. Even more, because when you do, your appointments are gonna multiply. When you look at the performance of your marketing, oftentimes you'd attribute like 90% of your results from a few campaigns. Double down on your winners. I believe that every single agent who's watched this podcast should spend time sending their clients preemptively a CMA, what I would call it, a professional home value report for their clients, because no one knows what a CMA is. But for Inside Baseball, like, hey, I think you should identify 3 to 5 clients to send them an updated professional home value report as a value add to trigger some reciprocity, get the customer excited. What you should do next is you should turn the corner and do something a lot of really smart marketers are doing, which is working in public. So if I did a CMA for Sharon, or let's call it professional home value report for Sharon, and let's say in the last 12 months, Sharon gained $135,000 in equity. Well, this is amongst a lot of the negativity around the real estate market crashing, the real estate market, now slowing down significantly. Oh my God, the world's going to come to an end. I would then go to social media and I would start off by saying, I just updated my clients with a professional home value report. They gained, and I may even give their reaction. Sharon was really surprised to learn that he gained $135,000 in equity in the last 12 months. And that might be an Instagram story. And I might have a poll that says, would you like one of these for your home? Yes, absolutely. And so what I'm doing is, if I'm doing the work that I think now I can then tell a story about, I'm then using my distribution channels to kind of go out there and post. And I've got clients who are doing this right now, Sharon, who are getting inbound, high intent sellers. And the trigger was they did a CMA for somebody else. They didn't even think that was possible. And I think that's I'm just a huge fan of working in public when you're doing these professional home value reports. I would use Facebook profile. Talk about an underutilized, we spent a decade building those things, and a lot of people aren't using them for business anymore. Good opportunity there for sure. They'll throw around the words like, AI is going to replace the real estate agent, or AI is going to drive the cost of buying and selling significantly down because of commission. For AI to be effective, it is all about what it is consuming to develop its output. So the data, the information is consuming. It can only ever be as good as the information which it consumes. The paper in front of me, I'm drawing 2 circles. One circle's this big, the other circle's this big. You can see the camera.
Yep.
This big is the amount of information in the world that is well documented, that can be crawled, that can be indexed, that can be developed models around. And then this information is all the information that is unstructured, undocumented, in our minds, in our heads. Until AI can begin to develop insight on ideas it doesn't actually have information on, we have nothing to worry about. Let me give you a script that we used recently. My friend Lourdes sells really high-end luxury in South Florida. One of the homes is a great home, went on the market, overpriced, didn't sell. So he actually called Lourdes back on this letter that we sent. And I'm going to give you the opening line of the letter, not the whole letter because it would just be too long, but let me give you the opening line of the letter. It says, now that your home didn't sell, You've had a wave of agents promising you they can, quote, get the deal done. You've heard the story before. You're not buying it. At this point, you're frustrated, disappointed, and likely pretty annoyed because your phone hasn't stopped ringing for the last 2 weeks. If a home doesn't sell, it's for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's priced incorrectly. Number 2, it didn't get exposure. And number 3, it wasn't presented properly. Now, if you believe the reason your home didn't sell is because number 1, you don't need another agent. You just need to lower the damn price. We identify your problem. We, communicate in a way that makes you feel like you're heard. And then we give you advice that is not self-centered or selfish. By saying, hey, if you believe the reason your home didn't sell is because the price, it's pricey high, then lower the price. You don't need another agent. No other agent ever does this. They just go right into pitch mode. So this one got a $25 million listing appointment for an expired. She didn't take it because the real reason was number 1. All right. Yeah. And she's like, I'm not taking this listing. It's not going to sell. But she may get it. But she did get a relationship or conversation. If she gets enough of those, we know she'll get some quality listings. The biggest mistake we make, Sharon, is that we just nurture them. Like, what does it actually mean? Because I know you have scolded me every time I use the word past clients, and you have now conditioned me to say SOI or private clients now. And so I've had to unlearn that bad habit. If I think about the companies that I buy the most amount of things from, it's like they don't nurture me. They put opportunities in front of me, and then I decide, like, I'm going to buy or not buy. I think it's time to kill the word nurture. We have to replace it with something that represents what we're ultimately trying to do, which is maintain these relationships and give the consumer a more actionable role than what exists today. So instead of saying, hey, we're just going to drip on them and then let them self-select when they're ready, why aren't we presenting options to them? In many instances, as you said with this Fred Wilson story, which I love, it's like Fred is actively presenting options to his customers. Nurture is too passive. You're playing kind of too soft. So maybe you and I can start a campaign, which is to replace the word nurture with the word cultivate. So because cultivate, technical definition of cultivate is obviously farmers use it to prepare and grow crops, but it's this idea of like improvement, growth, caring as an example. So I think maybe it's more active than nurture, which is much more passive. So we're going to workshop this. We'll come back to you guys with what we've come up with here. Yeah. But I like it. I like the idea of because we're trying to cultivate opportunities within our private clients, within our SOI, and you can't cultivate something if you're not actively, working it.